Hello, scrappers! Today I'm scrapping my old shop light. I had 3 of them up here, and I went and switched to LEDs. This is the one that blinked. This is the one with the bad ballast. I tried giving these away. I had these for free on Facebook for a long time. I called every one of my friends. I said they're free, they work. Well, one of them needs a ballast. The bulbs with them and everything. Had them on Craigslist, Facebook. I called all my friends. Nobody wants them. Everybody said if I got shop lights, I would get LEDs, because this uses well over 100 watts. And all these together don't even use 100 watts. You know, it's just common sense. You got to upgrade. But yeah, this is the one with the bad ballast. I'm going to try to keep all this tin together. Because even with the plastic, the scrapyard will take it with the plastic in it. Let's see what this weighs all together. About 16 pounds. I wish I knew that came off. I struggled getting these down. So this will go to the scrap yard. There's brass in those ends. Let's see. I bet that's a common size. Yes, it is. That's why I love using a 6-in-1 screwdriver. It's like the best scrapping tool there is. Easy as that. You get big flap, big Phillips, nut drivers, quick access to small Phillips. Love it. That was easy. That was easy too. Got some tin. Got some tin for the scrapyard. See how heavy this is now. Now we're at about 15 pounds. So these have brass in them. And usually he's just going to fall apart for me. Oh, look at that. Today's my lucky day. I wonder how bad this ballast is cooked. Look at that. He's just going to fall apart for me. That little piece I lost. Get the scale on. How cheaply made everything is nowadays. Well, I called the previous owner of this house and everything. I called everybody I knew trying to find a home for these. I can't have them taking up room in my garage forever. I've moved them 100 times. I got my use out of them. They did me good. The thing that sucks about fluorescent lights is in the wintertime when they're cold, they're so dim they take forever to heat up. And while they're trying to heat up, they use a ton of electricity. You know, on this it says the wattage, but it always takes, what does it say on here? It always takes 120, I'm not seeing it. It always takes like triple the wattage to get this thing heated up. And then once it's up to temperature, you know, then they start being more efficient. It's still more efficient than an incandescent light bulb. But nowhere near as efficient as an LED bulb. And LEDs last supposedly forever. And there's no hazardous chemicals in LED. Unlike a fluorescent tube, they got mercury vapor in them. And a couple more to go. I'm interested to see how cooked this ballast is. It flickered for a while. Then it stopped flickering and I had no light. Now we got number 2 insulated. So now I like to wait before I cut the wires, because I'll show you. You'll end up having to cut them a second time. It's like it makes twice the work. Look at all those yummy transformers. Yeah, that one's probably a cooked one. More tin for our tin pile. Yucky. That's for heat mitigation. That's to help suck some of the heat out of this. It's all oily, it stinks. So now I'm gonna cut my wires. Or pull them out. Now this is solid cord wire. This is strippable. I'll just show you how easy it is to strip here. This is strippable. If you're hard up for scrap, there's an easy way to get bare bright wire. But this is a little on the thin side for me. So I'm gonna call this bare bright, of course. I already did the work. But I'm gonna call this number 2 insulated. It is strippable though. If you're looking for scrap, that's a good way to get it. This transistor is copper, along with these 2 transistors. See the copper plate in them? And this whole transistor, the entire plate on that is copper. We got some number 2 copper here. And do I call this whole thing copper bearing, or do I try cutting the copper out of these transformers? You know the answer to that. Get a glove on. One. Two. I'm gonna wait, see how easy it is to get this one before I do the other two. It looks like I can just break the ferrite. That's the plan. Break the ferrite. There we go. That was easy. Some more number 2 copper. I'll definitely be getting the copper out of this one. And those others two also. As easy as that was. It's a good fitting way to retire my shop light. Good way to say goodbye to her. Served me well. There you go, all the ferrites out of that. Number 2 copper, just like that. We have a copper bearing circuit board. You guys like my hammer? Just a hunk of metal I found at the scrapyard. I got sick of accidentally throwing my good hammers and wrecking my good hammers just for smashing stuff apart. Ow! This is ideal for just smashing stuff with it. Why wreck a good hammer? And that's it. Now, of course, all this ferrite, I'll gather all this up. This will go in my tin bucket. Of course, everything goes in a bucket. Everything gets scrapped. So let's see how we did. The scale went and turned off on me. Or maybe I never turned it on. We can zero it, and I can tear it as I take stuff off. So I have 2 ounces of copper bearing circuit board. My copper bearing bucket's full. Time to go to the scrapyard. Two 2.5 ounces of number 2 insulated. This is strippable. You strip this and you got bare bright. Well, my scrapyard, they want the bare bright a little bit thicker. And how much brass do we have? 1/2 ounce of brass. All these little bits do add up. Now for the good part. 2.5 ounces. Not too bad. Wasn't too bad. A few minutes worth of work. Make an extra buck or two. How much tin do we have here? Oh, 17 pounds. It's not too bad. A few minutes worth of work, make an extra buck. Just remember, guys, scrap is everywhere. All you gotta do is find it, sort it, and hoard it. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.